So, every week after I watch the newest episode of Charmed, I am more and more convinced that the elders not just wiped Harry's memory of his past, and basically everything he is, but they also wiped mine so that I wouldn't remember that I was writing this show. I really believe that I am one of the writers of season 2 because almost every theory I have had so far has come true, which also means they wiped my bank account. And I would really like it if they would unwipe it. Just saying. Hi guys, my name is Maria Park, and this is Approach the Nerd. And in this episode, we are talking about Charmed Season 2, Episode 5, The Truth About Cat and Dogs. And oh boy, do we have a doozy. This is a Harry-centric episode, and we just delve right into his past, and we learned a lot. But before we get to Harry, let's talk about what happened in the episode. So it starts off with Mel and Maggie approaching a guy who's fixing a car. So it looks like they've teleported through the portal from the command center. And they approach the guy and they basically try to barter with him for their sister. So they're in the assumption that he has their sister, which is already a red flag that this guy's a demon. And of course he is. As he tries to attack them, they blind him and say they have an antidote for, his blindness if they give Macy back or information about Macy. Instead, he basically tries to choke Maggie out, and Mel ends up stabbing him with a dagger, so he's vanquished. Then they hear a woman, asking for help. They're assuming it's Macy, but it actually turns out to be another girl, another witch, who the demon was marinating underground in this, tube of water or whatever he was marinating her in, which is crazy. And when they go back to the command center, Harry confirms that demons have kind of become cannibalists because once they taste, witch's blood and, I guess, flesh, they kind of want more, and that is horrifying. So, yeah, cannibals and Charmed. So then they kind of split into two groups. So Mel comes up with the idea of using a forbidden tracking spell in the back of the Book of Shadows that she read, kind of skip forward basically, which Harry says most witches that cast this particular spell, they don't survive, but they're willing to risk it because Maggie and Mel want Macy back. So as they're leaving, they approach Katerina or Kat. And Kat basically comes out and asks Mel if she has any after effects of the time they meditated on the astral plane, and even talks about the worms. Mel basically says no, but doesn't understand why she's able to remember it. But because they're trying to find Macy, they don't have time to talk to her. So she basically says, "I'll see you later" over coffee or something, and they leave. Now, Kat is basically still being spiritually haunted by someone. And my theory with her still stands. She's definitely magical. Malaysia is big on channeling ghosts and believing in ghosts and spirits. You could actually Google some of the things that happened in Malaysia where schools have shut down because they think they've seen spirits. So I think, as I said before, that Kat is a medium. She is a medium, and that's why spirits can approach her. That's why ghosts can talk, through her. And we come to find out in the episode that it's actually Marisol, the girl's mother, who is channeling through her right now. So I don't know why, but yeah, that's a thing. So back to Mel and Maggie. They need there's basically three things they need to do the tracking spell, and it's denial, desire, and there's a third D that just went out of my head. But basically, they come up with all of these different things that they think Macy wants to fulfill these categories, and they're wrong. They're talking about career, family, none of it's right. What's right is Harry. As a matter of fact, they get Macy's journal thanks to a text message from Kat saying that Marisol told them to find the journal that Macy had in her room hidden in the sheets. And they find the journal, and the first thing they see when they open it is a sketched picture of Harry, which Macy's a pretty good artist, by the way. And Maggie puts it together that all three of the components they need are Harry. And so when they cast the spell the first 2 times, there's like a demon dog that keeps getting bigger, an angry hound, like a hellhound that's trying to kill them. By the time they get to the third one and they cast it, the little hellhound, or big hellhound, should I say, turned into a little, not little, but a normal sized demon pooch, and he's adorable. And he basically uses his eyes, and they like laser, that's what it looks like anyway, laser coordinates on the wall behind them, where I guess Macy is supposed to be, because they cast a spell to find their sister. So that is interesting. And then as for Harry's story takes up a big chunk of this episode. I already said that the elders made the white lighters by splitting the darkness from them, and that I turned out to be right. What's interesting is they don't take corporeal form. So they're so scared of the dark lighter side, because I guess they had so much trauma making Helen, the white lighter we see in episode 4, who was the original white lighter, and they put her in a mental ward because of her dark side. So we did learn that they are capable of making white lighters and dark lighters simultaneously from the same person. But instead of making the mistake like they did with Helen and giving the dark lighter form, they put them in these like flasks and then put them on the shelf. The way we come to this conclusion is, first, Abigail helps Harry by doing a demon meld to go into his subconscious. So we get to see all kinds of things from his past, like his grandmother at his birthday and his dad sitting in a chair smoking cigars. There's a hooded woman mysteriously running around that he can't identify. And at some point he sees his wife Clara, which is very interesting because she makes a comment that kind of shocked me, and that is that Harry was not faithful and actually has another family. So I don't know if they're going to come into play in this season, but that's interesting. And when he's finally able to break down the wall, he does see his own white lighter, I guess you can call ceremony, where they extract the darkness from him and put it in a vial. He actually learns this, or has that recollection more, by going to Scotland, my mother's hometown in Aberdeenshire. My mother is from Aberdeen, so I'm very proud that we made it into the episode. But they go to a castle, and there's like Caliban demons, where basically they're guarding, I guess, the castle where the elders make white lighters, and they have the ability to kill you on touch, which is kind of cool. I love that they're incorporating all these different demons and different skills and different magical creatures in this series, because yes, they did that in their OG charm, but not to the level where they're traveling and we're seeing all these different realms and different countries. It's really, really cool. So after they get there and they run into Caliban demons, Abigail vanquishes one of them with a fireball because of the touch thing that Harry didn't know about, and then goes on to talk about how the reason she knew about the demon assassins, or the assassins, or whatever they are, is because her father, when she approached him when she was 13, sent the same type of assassins to kill her. So, Alistair was a great guy. So anyway, they're in Scotland. They find the vials all destroyed, which makes sense because when the elders died, all of the white lighters they created died, except for the ones that were not tethered to them. So of course, that meant Harry and Harry's dark lighter, or doppelganger. I'm assuming that also means that Helen, back in the mental institution, Tulip Institute, is also not tethered to the elders, because then why else would her and her dark lighter still be there? So looks like that's similar. They have the same, like, she separated from them as well. Of course, she doesn't trust them, and she wanted to kill Harry in last episode when she thought he was an elder, so that kind of makes sense. So yeah, so we definitely got more insight on how the elders created white lighters and dark lighters. Now, another one of my theories got proven, and that was that the dark Harry was also into Macy. Because I said he would be. I said if white lighter Harry has feelings for Macy, then dark lighter Harry has to have feelings. Because they're opposite sides of a mirror. I mean, it's the same person. So it makes sense. So, yeah, and that's also why Macy, they're not seeing a red dot in the command center, meaning that she's not distressed. It's why they can't find her. They think that she's being shielded, but actually she's with Harry. And there's a point where Harry, when he realizes, he basically figures out that the hooded woman is Macy. He goes into subconscious again with Abigail and actually starts talking to her. And it's basically Macy talking to the dark version of him. And he says, do you like the change in me? And she says yes. So Dark Harry is appealing to demon half side of Macy, whereas the white lighter side of the white lighter Harry, I think appeals to the witch and good side of Macy. So they have the weirdest triangle. I don't even know if it's a triangle at this point. It's just strange. But I think they're cute. Hasty is very cute. So I don't know where it's going to go from here, but I think it's going to be awesome. So we learned that. And like I said, with Marisol and with Katrina, that whole situation is just crazy. I don't know why Marisol is channeling through her. I mean, yeah, she's a medium, so I guess that's pretty much the closest thing that she could channel through because, of course, the girls don't have their powers, so, she can't reach them supernaturally or magically. So having a magical being close by, which is Katrina, it makes sense she would be speaking to her. And they were having a conversation like Marisol was in the room and she was trying to call Mel. So that right there was extremely interesting. And I don't know where they're going to go with that, but that was very interesting. So, but yeah, this episode was really good. I have a lot of questions. Like I wonder, because we see in the next episode that Harry and Macy are pretty much playing house, and she seems to not be as suspicious at the beginning, but getting there. So I'm like, but why? Because she should be suspicious because where are her sisters? You know what I mean? It's like he brought her back to the house, but there's no Mel and there's no Maggie. And did she wonder where they were? I mean, I don't know what's happening in the episode, but it's interesting that she's not questioning it. So that's kind of cool that they're spinning on this. Also, Jordan was not in this episode. Maggie did drop that she's been stalking his Instagram. And Mel admitted that she wants to kiss, Katrina outside of the astral plane. Even though both, they're not allowed to have relationships because they don't want to they don't want to be in danger and they don't want to put anyone else in danger. So, their desires. But yeah, it's very interesting because, they revealed a lot. James Westwell, Harry's human life, was not the good guy that, the girls assumed him to be, and even the way they made him look in season 1, because we always thought he was just an actor that got drafted into the British Army and then, died serving his country and then sadly left behind his wife and his, baby boy. When he became a white lighter, they erased his memory. So it's just tragic. But it seems like his past is a lot more tainted. Hence why his dark lighter is probably stronger, is that he had a lot more darkness in him to begin with. So that is fascinating. But yeah, who knows where they're going to go from here? I mean, like I said, I have theories. I think we're going to learn a lot about Katrina. We're definitely going to learn about Jordan. I'm still sticking to the Egyptian pharaoh reincarnation of him. I think they're Egyptian. But we'll see. I mean, it would be refreshing. We haven't really had that before, so I don't know. We'll see where that goes. But hey, what do you guys think? I love your opinions. I really want to know your theories on this. What do you think about Katrina? Who do you think is going to win out between the Macy, Dark Harry, and White Lighter Harry triangle? Where did Abigail go? Because she kind of disappeared, and she basically said she had plans. I wonder what those plans were. Are the girls going to get their powers back in this season? Why didn't Maggie get any premonitions or, foresight this episode? Yeah, this is a lot. So I want to know what your theories are because I love our discussions. And hey, what you say may end up in the next episode. And then the elders can wipe your memory of writing the show too. And if you'd like to be signed up for jury duty, hit the subscribe button. And if you'd like to know who's next on our ballot, hit the notification bell. Until next time, I can't wait for you to approach the nerd. Bye, guys. And if you have time, don't forget to check out some of these other videos.